technical difficulties. I was rambling a bit, but yeah, Finn, Ice King and Betty get swallowed by Gold, which is like probably one of the worst things, if not the worst thing that could have happened. And they start reversing back, and the space starts shrinking, and I'm repressing any claustrophobic idea that can get into my brain. And yeah, Ice King becomes Simon, and it's like, yay! And then you're just like, oh, they're gonna die. And it's this really mixed feeling. And then Betty's like, oh, she grabs a crown, and I'm just sat there like, is she gonna sacrifice herself? Please don't. I ship you guys. Don't die. And well, she didn't die. She only just fused herself with this immortal being, and it's like, crap. Yeah, it's like, she didn't die, but it's still, well, unlikely, to say the least, of Simon getting her back. But we see at the end that he does try to, and well, I believe in him, you know? It's the magic of an open-ended ending, that, well, things just keep happening. And I just, yeah, I want to hope that one day he does find something after years of looking. But anyway, I'm smiling now after talking about that sad thing, because in my notes I just put bubbly in massive letters. And yeah, like, we have this little scare with Princess Bubblegum, and Marty freaks out and goes into a ultimate vampire form and messes up that nasty monster that Golb put on this earth. And well, they hug, and I was like, please hug, and I was so happy. And then they actually kissed, and they actually kissed in canon, like, on screen. I just, like, there was so much, like, subtext and, like, all these sort of hints and that throughout everything, but I was still like, well, that doesn't mean that's necessarily going to happen, no matter how badly I hope, because that's the nature of things, and, you know, we've been burned before. But there's these two girls, they kissed, and it's not just that, the way they kissed, it was familiar, like, they've done it before. This wasn't their first kiss, like, they've been a couple for a while, that they just feel comfortable just kissing, like, in front of people, and stuff like that. And I'm just like, they're actually just canon. Yeah. So, I'm very happy about that, as you might be able to tell. But, people were like, oh, where are they at the end? And stuff like that. Well, at the end, or at the end of the story, but at the beginning of the episode, they're not there. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're dead. They're immortal. So, I choose to believe that, you know, after some time, they moved on, because hundreds of years and all of that, or however many years it's been. But they can finally find happiness and sort of peace and trust in each other after their messed up lives, and I'm just... yes. Anyway, and then we've got sad, happy, sad again, because I put capital letters, treehouse, lovely treehouse, destroyed. Crap. That's sad. That's really, like, symbolises the end, you know, when Jake freaks out. I would freak out too. But then we get this lovely moment where BMO, like, helps to sort of save the day with the singing and the music, and it's so appropriate that obviously harmony against chaos. It like makes sense on a logical standpoint, but also is sort of like the themes of Adventure Time itself with all of its music, and like it's not just like harmony as in, you know, we're singing and our voices sort of go together, but like everyone's uniting together from different backgrounds, apart from like the people who ran off, like Ash, but I didn't expect anything from Ash. So, but yeah, so like it's just such a great way of incorporating singing, which Adventure Time does often, but also like the actual themes of the show. And it's sort of like, it's good because it's not like friendship, which obviously it can work out well. I'm not anti the power of friendship particularly. I just appreciate when it's done in a way that actually feels sort of like tangible and like it makes sense with the logic of the show. So instead of like it being, you know, I like you, so now that the monster's destroyed, it's sort of like, well, we're all coming together with all of our different strengths and stuff like that from far and wide, and we're gonna beat this thing and stuff like that. And it's like, yes, I appreciate that. But yeah, and then after all is said and done, and Betty Gulb just pieces out, Gunter / the Orgalorg gets a crown. Jake freaks out, and then it's like, well, he just wanted to become like Ice King, which is like, it's kind of sweet because it's like, oh, he wants to be like the guy that looked after him and that, but like, wait, I don't know what Gunter's pronouns are. Are they okay in there? I hope so. I choose to believe that they're okay, but I mean, they're sort of engaged at any rate, so that's something. Unexpected ships and all that, especially with Lumpy Space Princess and Lemongrab. So yeah, that was fun. But and then like something a bit less fun. Finn and Jake, they plant the sword seeds that was left behind by Fern, and it's emotional, and it comes full circle because it becomes another tree, like the tree house, and then like it's got the Finn sword growing out of it, and when Shermie, I think his name is, pulls it out, it obviously makes like the title card, the opening sequence sort of thing. It all comes full circle, which makes sense, you know, everything stays, everything's like the same, but it changes and stuff like that. It really works out. It's like, it tugs at my heartstrings, but it makes sense overall. And yeah, that sort of signals maybe Shermie and Beth, I think their names are, they can have their own adventure now, like Finn and Jake do. And it's sort of like this idea that things don't, you know, you don't have one event and then everything ever stops. Things just keep on happening and carry on, and now they can have their own adventures. And that's really nice, because just because the show's ending, it doesn't mean our adventures are ending. So, yeah. And then, right in the end, I'm a bit out of order, I apologise, I wrote these notes in a rush. The music hole, which Jake can now like hear / see, because I think you need to have experienced loss or something to process the music hole, and now he has, which is kind of sad because I like the treehouse and Fern and stuff. But yeah, the music hole starts playing Come Along With Me, and like I thought, yeah, this is probably going to be what the song is, and they played it anyway, and I was like, I'm not going to cry on camera. I was just, yeah. On the inside, I was screaming, because I knew this was going to happen, but we're coming along with them for the last time. And then you get this open-ending ending, which I love, and I mentioned earlier what I think some of the characters are doing. But it's really nice, like, how there's this sort of, I said about harmony, you get that again with the ending, because there's, like, you've got the humans coming back, which is massive. Even if it was, I don't, like, it's unlikely it'd be a visit with, like, multiple ships full of humans, some of which are massive ships, like that cruise ship. That was like a proper Titanic big ass ship. And yeah, it kind of, yeah, so the humans might have finally returned to Ooo, their home, and Finn can be with his mum again and his people, and that's like so much. I don't even know how to articulate that. That's massive, not just for Finn, but for the future of Ooo itself. And we get this lovely scene with PB and Marcy, and they're sort of cuddled up, and it's really sweet. And but obviously Simon and Icefinger are there as well, so they're sort of like a family together now, because it's like Simon is sort of Marceline's father figure. So it's nice that, you know, they always keep in touch and they stay together and they're like a family. And you've got the Lady Rainicorn and Jake's pups, and they're sort of like making their own agency and working together, and everyone's sorting themselves out, or at least trying to. And I think, you know, everyone's trying to do their own thing, and that's really nice to sort of see, even if it was an unexpected thing, that people, you know, they don't give up. They just carry on moving on with their lives. And whether that be happy things or sad things or both, because that's the nature of things, they're doing it together, mostly. And the people that aren't doing things together in a traditional sense, like, it's still quite nice. Like, LSP, she might have, like, has she accepted her royal responsibilities? That's nice. Jake and Lady Rainicorn, whatever they're doing it together. And Carol, apparently that water sprite at the end, with the short hair and that drawing, apparently that's Carol. So she finally moved back on and through the cycle, and she's just chilling. And it's nice to see that, like, overall, they're happy. Not happy ever after, but they seem content. And I'm glad with that, because I think that's sort of what despite all of these things that have been happening in the finale, all of the exciting things, and all of the sad things, and the suspense, and like, the humour, and the happiness, and the fear through a couple of bits. Overall, I'm feeling quite content. I'm very sort of happy with the finale. I looked at that and I didn't know what I expected. I didn't look at theories or anything, because I didn't want to overanalyze, but that was a proper Adventure Time finale for me. So I am very pleased with it. And I'm glad that it tied up loose ends without just cutting them off completely. And I'm also very glad that Jake didn't die, because everyone was saying he would, and I was saying please no, and he didn't. And that's the important thing, that the dog didn't die. Anyway, that's my thoughts. I hope you enjoyed. Comment, whatever. You do you. I'm happy. See ya.